Hello everyone, welcome to Royal Cyber's IBM Mobile Foundation V8.0 webinar. So the topic of today's webinar is basically upgrading Mobile Foundation application from previous version to the newer version. So our first topic is IBM Mobile Foundation overview. IBM Mobile Foundation is also basically known as IBM MobileFirst. MobileFirst is IBM used this MobileFirst term a lot in previous versions, but with 8.0 they move more towards to Mobile Foundation. So, what exactly is Mobile Foundation? Well, Mobile Foundation is mobile backend as a service. It's a mobile backend service is basically a managed solution. And IBM is one of the top providers in enterprise domain that offers this mobile backend as a solution. It's basically industry-leading secure platform that's used for rapid application building and deployment. So the reason why IBM's Mobile Foundation is top-notch product is because it offers comprehensive security. You can connect with IBM Data Power. You can introduce all sort of security, advanced authentication. It offers extensive mobile analytics, app lifecycle management to reduce operation cost, and one of the challenges that whenever we basically develop mobile application is how soon the changes can be pushed to customer. And that's for example, if you're using iOS native applications or Android application, the challenge is that once the development cycle is done, how soon we can push the changes to customers and how soon customers would see those changes reflected. So with Mobile Foundation, they've introduced a technique called air push, right? Air push basically push the latest UI changes to basically client devices without needing for them to reinstall application or download newer version of the application. So it's very beautiful feature. Next is backend logic engine. Backend logic engine is perhaps one of the most powerful tool of any mobile backend as a service platform. And IBM has simply mastered this. I mean, they are actually one of the oldest MBAs, and they've done quite a lot. And with V8.0, they've introduced a lot of changes that essentially makes development a lot easier. Next is the feature push and offline sync. Push notification. IBM is obviously push notification is something that IBM Mobile Foundation V1.0 previously had. And even since the very beginning, they're having push notification. But with V8.0, what they have introduced is basically improved push notification with subscriptions and a lot more features like this that usually are quite in demand and standard part of any large-scale application. But instead of writing code from the very beginning, they have provided all these features to manage from the backend. And of course, offline sync. Offline sync is basically whenever application loses a connection, the framework would allow app to store data within the application locally, and whenever internet connection is available, the data will be pushed to the remote server automatically. That's in theory, it's very useful feature. So what sort of framework IBM Mobile Foundation V8.0 offers? So with V8.0, IBM has moved towards more to plugin based plugin based development. So you can use any IDE, whatever you're most comfortable with, Xcode or any IDE for that matter. And for that IDE, for that particular platform, IBM Mobile Foundation has a framework and SDKs. And with those SDKs, developers can easily connect with the backend services to start utilizing those services pretty easily. And this is one of the feature that's makes Mobile Foundation stands out among its competitors. So why migrate to IBM Mobile Foundation v8.0? So one of the very basic reason is that with plugin based development and with newer building process and package management managers such as NPM and CocoaSpot, the development and the plugin based development, the feature development is very fast and rapid, because a lot of nowadays, a lot of features, a lot of components are available in packages, right? That this whole package management became very famous around 5-6 years ago. Before that, the usual practice was that you have to go to GitHub or download some open source library and stuff like that. With NPM and CocoaSpot, this whole process has become very seamless. Okay. User experience has also improved a lot. It's a lot easier to use v8.0 than the older versions of MobileFirst. Enhance automation and new dev and IT self-service. So one of the critical features in any application development is, and a lot of development managers and companies that have challenges, that mobile development is never as simple as it sounds. In order to develop a mobile application, you have to have a whole team with mobile developers, server-side developers, and stuff like that to create a full three-tier application. With MB mobile backend as services and with MobileFirst Foundation, it's become very easy for mobile developers to basically write device-side code as well as deploy services on Mobile Foundation server by themselves. The process has become so easy that even mobile developers can do the server-side work all by themselves, and it's very self-service and in a very easy way. And this that's one reason. The second in this category is live application update, the feature that I explained earlier. Live application update is something that is truly beautiful. It works amazingly fast, and for minor improvements in UI and updates, you don't have to push the whole code. You don't have to submit everything, the new version, to app stores or iOS store. Yes, hybrid and cloud integration. So MobileFirst, mobile foundation server is very easy and easy to scale with, especially with IBM Cloud Service, right? So it doesn't matter if your needs are smaller or large. IBM Cloud Service will scale very easily. Apart from that, the DevOps support is tremendous in v8.0. So one of the best thing about IBM Mobile Foundation is that it easily integrates with IBM's current services and products. For example, you can connect API Connect with MobileFirst and IBM Data Power very easily to define new security and multi-channel API access. For private organizations that have that have high level of data security, they Mobile Foundation can easily security can be enforced with DMZ with IBM Data Power. So now we're going to discuss what are the changes in development and deployment process that IBM has introduced with V 8.0. Okay, so previously with 7.1 and 7.0, MobileFirst server had a very different architecture, the way the server used to work. So basically, each application used to be a MobileFirst server itself. But instead of that, the new strategy is for each application, developers no longer need to deploy their WAR files to web server. And MobileFirst is basically with V 8.0 is installed just once, and for all new web services, one server can be used. We've also introduced a very powerful CLI tool that developers can use to manage app registration and server-side configuration from their development machines. Second architectural change that IBM has introduced in V 8.0 is MobileFirst type specific projects doesn't exist in V 8.0. So projects are very generic, and service and plugins that plugin libraries and features that any particular application needs to use or wants to integrate with MobileFirst, it's all plugin based. So no longer developers have to worry about MobileFirst specific projects. They can basically call Mobile Foundation service in using their existing project with very easy approach. Earlier it was a lot difficult. You had to convert your current source code to MobileFirst specific project, and it was quite a mess. New application registration process. So the application registration process has also changed, and it's a lot easier to register new application to MobileFirst Foundation server. Migrating existing application. So for migration, to demonstrate how migration works in from V 7.1 to V 8.0, we're going to show you guys a simple Cordova application. We're going to take a simple Cordova application that works with V 7.1 version, is compatible with that version, and we're going to show how the migration basically works. There are a couple of steps. There are actually 6 steps. We're gonna show this whole migration process in 6 steps. The first step is that there is a new tool called migration tool. So IBM Mobile Foundation V 8.2 has a migration tool that basically we use this tool to create a new project structure, right? Because old project structure, it was very different from the project structure that is supported in V 8.0. We create a new project structure. Migration tool creates a new project structure. We have to manually copy code and run migration assistant tool. Migration assistant tool basically generates a report that shows what API issues are there in and what APIs are basically outdated, and what APIs and what are the changes we need to do in order to finish the migration. So we're going to show you how to resolve API conflicts, because many of the APIs are not are changed in V 8.0, and many of the methods and APIs has been depreciated. So without basically code level changes, application cannot work in the newer version. Okay, step 4 is we have to add Cordova related libraries to Mobile Foundation. That are any library that is basically not part of Mobile Foundation, we have to manually add those libraries. Step 5 is we have to make some code level changes to run basically hybrid or Cordova application. And step 6 is we debug if there's anything left or if there's any problem, and we'll try to run the application. Yes. Now I'm going to transfer control to Krishna Hengu. He's going to share his screen, and he's going to run a live demo for us, how the migration is done.
You can see in my screen that we have to follow the 6 steps. Okay, so let me start with the first step. We can execute the first step to migration tool. So let's fire the first step. Meanwhile, we'll explain the application that is existing in 7.1, MobileFirst 7.1. So you can see in my screen right now, there are 2 pages, load page 1, load page 2. When I click, it will open another page. When I click on simple dialog from page 1, it will open the dialog box and one button. We can insert something in HTML. Now again we load second page like this. So now our task is to migrate this 7.1 application into the 8, MobileFirst 8. So how we can do is that in IBM MobileFirst documentation, they will mention 6 steps, basically high level step of migration tool. First step is to fire the migrate command, in which we have to specify the source directory and output directory. So that will already be fired at here. So you can see we can fire the command mfp migration client. In a source directory, we can find where is the source project, and the output folder will be where we want to create a new project, and the project name, what we want to give the project name. So after firing this command, it will generate the report. Basically, in report, it will mention that which API will be deprecated, which API will be obsoleted. So we need to change that API from our project. So then after we'll copy all the resources from existing MobileFirst 7.1 project to in our current new project. So in this way, we can follow all the 6 steps. After performing all the steps, we can again run the migration scanning after completing, if whether it is any API left to migrate in 7.1 to 8 or not. So for this, it will give another command, mfp scan source directory and destination directory. So in this way, we can continuously running the migration tool to check whether the migration is completed or not. So in 6 step is mentioned that repeat the step 6, run the scan tool, new Cordova app until the issue will be resolved. So basically, in first step after executing the command, this one, we need to change the existing project some things like we need to add one link element in our page. We need to add Cordova script. We need to remove the work light element. We need to add instead of we remove this one and add this jQuery library element in our index page. Then we remove the old API like this one. We remove to replace with this one like this. So one by one, we will follow all the steps in our project after the migration command will be fired. So this will command takes almost 2 to 3 minutes to generate a report. So how it's generate a report, I will show you right now. I have one already report. See, it will generate a report already. You can see here, requested return of the demo multi-page API report will generated. So it will, you can see in screen that they are these things we need to change. So it will show that line 42, we need to, this API will need to change. The possibility disconnect continue. In line 44, we need to change this API. and page 1.js, we need to change a simple dialog box in our project. So let's start to change one by one all the changes and done. So it will generate a project in a RC demo project. So here is the report that will generate it, and this is the project by default they will generate it. So let's start the project. Open command prompt, and first we need to remove the first we have to copy all the resources from old project to new project. So this is our old project. Now we copy all the resources from old project to our new project that will be generated by the migration tool. So this is the old data. We remove all the code and add older code in our new project. After this, we will remove the platform that added by the migration command. So it will remove the existing platform from our new application, and again we will add the new platform. So it will generate all Cordova plugin and install in our application from fresh. After completing this command, we will add a platform. Meanwhile, we will open our project in some one of the IDE that you are familiar with. In either you can open in Eclipse or Visual Studio, or any IDE you can open it. So the new that is an demo. Okay. Okay. So meanwhile, the Cordova platform will be ready. Okay. So as we know that we need to change certain things like this one. We need to change the elements of new project based on our new project. So let's change the project. This is the old project code. So we need to change one by one all the things. See, the Cordova platform will be added in our new project. So now we change the code. So first we will add an element of Worklight in our project. Okay. Now we remove this jQuery plugin element because no need to Worklight. Now we instead of this, now we can add a Cordova library. After this, we need to remove the certain things from our application. This will not longer supported as mentioned in a generated report. So here this report mentioned that line 42, line 44 is not longer supported, discontinued. So we need to remove entire things from our file, and also mention that page 1 we need to replace the dialog box. So before replace the dialog box, we need to create one more dialog box that will support in our new project. So I'm going to copy the new dialog box in our application. Now we will remove this dialog box from the page 1. So we'll copy this one dialog box because it's not longer support in 8. Then we will change in page 2, line number 25. That same is mentioned in our report. You can see line number 25, we need to change the Worklight simple dialog box. So the dialog box changes is completed now. Now after this, we can run the Cordova run application. So all changes done, we have to run the application in our device. So I think everything will be set. We fire the Cordova run application. Using this, it will generate the APK and then it will be installed in our device. So I already connect my phone in my machine. After firing this command, it will generate APK and it will install this APK in my device and it will be run. So let's check whether this application runs as an application like this or not. So we'll check in our device. Oh, okay. So first we wait for this command to complete. So you can see till now we will change all the things. We can replace all the APIs not supported in Windows 8. So one by one we will change all the things. Then after we will only step will remain is that again we have to scan that whether is this any API is pending or not. So let's see the application here. It will generate. You can see here application. This will be loading my device. Let's click on page 1. Open dialog box. Cool, right? This same as the current application in 7.1. You can see. Okay. So this is migration step is completed right now. If you want to make sure that this migration is completed or not, we can fire again command to validate that migration is any API will be left or not. So for this, we can again run the command. Not here. We will run it here. Command to check whether any API will remain or not. So see, the report is not generated now. So it means that all the API will be migrated. If you want to cross verify that command is working or not, we can see. Let's uncomment the changes. That is the bigger things. And again run the command. So it will generate a report again that you are missed this thing in migration. So see, you can generate again that these two things we need to be changed again. So after changing this thing, migration will be completed. So that's it from my side. Let me transfer the command to Samsung.
Thank you, Krishna. That was a good demo. So Royal Cyber is also offering a free assessment. It's a 1 week complimentary assessment to do fit gap analysis of any size of application, any size of application that needs upgrade to IBM Mobile Foundation v8.0. So we will be happy to assist anyone with this requirement.
And thank you everyone for joining today's session. And